The recent comment by Helen Thomas raises a question: who owns the land of Israel? This is not a new question, rather it is a very old question. Let us start at the very beginning of the Torah, the Old Testament. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The classic commentator, Rashi, Rabbi Shlomo ben Yitzhak, born 1040 Common Era and died 1105 Common Era, explains that the Torah, given 3,322 years ago, begins with this sentence to show that God created the heavens and the earth and gave the land of Israel to the Jewish people. 10 centuries later, the Talmud, Tractate Sanhedrin, page 91, describe other nations of the world making claim to the land of Israel to Alexander the Great. The conclusion, as described in the video, proved to Alexander the Great that the land of Israel belongs to the Jewish people. So we'll begin with reading from the Torah. In the beginning, Rabbi Yitzhak said, God need not have begun the Torah, but from this month shall be for you the beginning of months, because it is the first commandment which Israel was commanded. What is the reason that it began with the book of Genesis? The power of his acts he told to his people, in order to give them the estate of nations, so that if the nations of the world will say to Israel, you are bandits, for you conquered the lands of the 7 nations who inhabited the land of Canaan, Israel will say to them, the whole earth belongs to the Holy One, blessed be He. He created it, and He gave it to the one found proper in His eyes. By His wish He gave it to them, and by His wish He took it from them, and He gave it to us. We will now read from the Gemara, the Talmud, the Tractate Sanhedrin, page 91. We learned in a Baraisa, on the 24th of Nisan, the tax collectors were withdrawn from Judah and Jerusalem. For when the Africans came to plead against the Jews before Alexander of Macedonia, they said, the land of Canaan belongs to us. For it says in the Torah of the Jews, the land of Canaan with its various boundaries, and Canaan was our ancestor. They argued. The Torah itself describes the land the Jews were about to enter as the land of Canaan. The Jews seized it unlawfully. Thereupon, Bivia ben Pesisa said to the sages, give me permission to go and debate them before Alexander of Macedonia. If they defeat me, you can say, you have defeated an ignorant individual, so you have not proved anything. And if I defeat them, you can say the Torah of Moses has defeated you. The sages then authorized him, and he went and debated the Africans. He asked them, from where do you bring your proof to substantiate your claim? From the Torah, they replied. I too will bring proof. Only from the Torah, he responded. For it says, Noah said, cursed is Canaan, a slave of slaves shall he be to his brothers. Now if a slave acquires property, to whom does the slave belong, and to whom the property? Clearly to the owner. Therefore, even if the land was given to the Canaanites, it belongs to their masters, the Jews, the descendants of Shem. And that's not all. It is now many years that you have not served us, so that you owe us for centuries of labor you did not perform for us. Alexander said to them, answer him. Give us 3 days' time, they requested. So he granted them the extension during which they searched but could not come up with an answer. Realizing that they had lost, they immediately ran away. Realizing that they had left their planted fields and vineyards, and that year was a sabbatical year when it was forbidden to till the land, so that the produce from the fields abandoned by the Africans was a welcome bonus. On another occasion, the Egyptians brought suit against the Jews before Alexander of Macedonia. They argued, "It says in the Torah of the Jews, God made the Egyptians respect the people, and they lent them gold and silver and clothing that they never returned. And they drained Egypt of all its wealth. We demand, give us the silver and gold that you took from us." Hearing this, Gavia ben Pesisa said to the sages, "Give me permission to go and debate them before Alexander of Macedonia. If they defeat me, you can say you defeated an ignorant individual. And if I defeat them, you can say the Torah of Moses has defeated you." The sages then authorized him, and he went and debated the Egyptians. He said to them, "From where do you bring proof that we took gold and silver from you in Egypt?" "From the Torah," they replied. "Then I too will bring you proof from the Torah," he retorted. "For it says, the length of time that the Israelites stayed in Egypt was 430 years. So pay us the wages for the labor of the 600,000 men you enslaved for 430 years. Alexander of Macedonia said to them, "Answer him." They said to Alexander, "Give us 3 days' time to think of an answer." He granted them the extension during which they searched but could not come up with an answer. Realizing that they had lost, they abandoned their planted fields and vineyards and ran away, and that year was a sabbatical year. On yet another occasion, the descendants of Ishmael and the descendants of Keturah brought suit against the Jews before Alexander of Macedonia. They argued, "The land of Canaan belongs to us and to the Jews, for it says, 'And these are the descendants of Ishmael, the son of Abraham.' And it also says, 'These are the descendants of Isaac, the son of Abraham.'" Said Gavia ben Pesisa to the sages, "Give me permission to go and debate them before Alexander of Macedonia. If they defeat me, you can say you defeated an ignorant individual. And if I defeat them, you can say the Torah of Moses has defeated you." The sages then authorized him, and he went and debated them. He said to them, "From where do you bring proof?" "From the Torah," they replied. "I too will bring proof only from the Torah," he retorted. "For it says, Abraham gave all that he owned to Isaac, and to the sons of the concubines that he had taken, Abraham also gave gifts. Then, while he was still alive, he sent them to the country of the east, away from his son Isaac. Now, if a father gave an inheritance to his sons in his lifetime and sent one son away from the other to prevent a dispute about the inheritance, does one son have any claim on the other? Of course not. Therefore, you have no claim on Eretz Yisrael."